been here before, as you mentioned, Sage. He has more career playoff starts than all the other 13 projected starting quarterbacks combined this postseason, which is so crazy. Certainly helps that he is undefeated, as you mentioned, against the Cowboys in his career. The Bucs, they're going to need a lot more than Brady. They enter the postseason averaging just over 18 points a game this season, second worst by any playoff team over the last 15 seasons. As ESPN Buccaneers reporter Jenna Lane joins us live from Tampa. So, Jenna, as the Bucs prepare for their third meeting with the Cowboys since the start of 2021, that offensive chemistry, it just wasn't there this season. But in Week 17, when they did clinch the division title, we saw Brady throw for a season-high 432 yards and 3 touchdowns. So how can they go to school on that? What did that game show them in terms of a game plan headed into Monday?
Hannah, as Bucs wide receiver Chris Godwin put it to me, it showed everybody that Tom Brady still has the juice. He said, we've known it. Everyone else just didn't, and that will certainly change the way Dan Quinn lines up his defense against Brady, because really throughout the season, we did not see Brady drop back and air it out. You could tell he wasn't trusting the protection of the offensive line, and the difference in that game was he had left tackle Donovan Smith back. He was dealing with a foot injury, something he's still dealing with as he missed this last game and didn't practice at all last week either. It also showed that Brady's chemistry with Mike Evans is still there, because they went 11 weeks without a touchdown. That's the longest drought in Mike Evans' career. All 3 of those touchdowns were to Evans. All 3 of them were also of 30-plus yards. And for a team that is dead last right now in rushing, that can really help them get things going in the ground game.
Yeah, after we were wondering all season long, what is the deal with Brady and Evans? All right, what is the deal with the injuries also? Because, Jenna, we know they have multiple injuries on both sides of the ball. You were just watching practice earlier this morning. So what can you tell us? What's the latest?
You aren't kidding about the injuries. Todd Bowles joked that if they lost any more players against the Falcons, he was going to be forced to line up a defensive end at safety. That is not ideal. But speaking of safety, Keanu Neal, who suffered a hip injury in that game, he was out at practice. So was Robert Hainsey, Tom Brady's center, who replaced Ryan Jensen, who suffered a devastating knee injury during training camp. Both those guys are practicing. Jensen's still in that 21-day practice window to return from injured reserve. We'll see if he can make it back this week, but if not, Hainsey can be the one out there. So that was positive to see him out there. You know, those hamstring injuries can be tricky. Also very encouraging seeing Vita Vea out there. We don't know how much he was able to do. He missed practice this past week, didn't play this past week. That ground defense, that run defense with this team is dramatically different when he is out there. We'll see how much he was able to do. And also Carlton Davis, who we have not seen play or practice since suffering a shoulder injury in Week 16. He was out there practicing. So very encouraging news. This secondary, when you look at all the injuries that they've had, they have missed a combined 27 games with that group alone.
Wow. Yeah, all hands on deck. Dallas is favored by 2.5 on the road. It is going to be a good one. Jenna, thanks for the update as we're back with Dan Orlovsky. Here to break down this matchup. And from the Bucs side, and she referenced the run game. I mean, we've been talking about that all season. Yeah, it has not been good. They have to establish the run.
Yeah.
Tom Brady has to have a clean pocket to operate out of. They've had issues on the offensive line. How do they put enough points on the board, Dan, to keep up with that Dallas offense?
Well, just want to get to Ryan Jensen real quickly. I mean, if Ryan Jensen's able to play, that changes everything for this offense. So I think that's a name to really pay attention to when it comes to the performance of Tampa's offense. I'd say this, Tampa has to be so much better on first down. And I would say it shouldn't be because of the run game. I know, like, we traditionally attach, let's be efficient on first down, run the football, get in it. Absolutely not.
So you're saying be aggressive.
100%, 100%. I would not run the ball more than 2 or 3 times on first down if I was Tampa. I'm bad at it. I know I'm bad at it. If I catch a run here or there on first down, I got lucky more than I'm good at it. The best part of this offense unquestionably is when the ball is coming out of Tom's hands. And the more that they can do that, and they have to be, this offense struggles so much to be explosive on offense. And it's attached to, they don't have receivers right now outside of Mike that are making a ton of plays down the field. Chris is very good, Godwin in the middle of the field. They can't protect. So they have to be super efficient on offense. And the best way to do that is to be aggressive on first. If they can live in like a 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 world, because they cannot live in 3rd and 7, 3rd and 8. They're awful at it because they can't protect.
Right.
They can't protect.
Right.
So their best chance is trying to throw the ball more often than not on first down.
He's going to have to get the ball out so quickly against
That's
this Dallas
that's
defense.
the good thing for Tom, but the bad thing, you know, because it doesn't allow them to generate it, and they got to go on these 10, 12, 14 play drives where perfection is needed.
All right. For more on the other side there, the Cowboys, here's Sage.
Yes, that's for the opponent. Here's some storylines, some facts for you. History, frankly, is not on their side. The boys have lost 8 straight road playoff games, tied for the 2nd longest road playoff losing streak all time. Their last playoff road win, 1993. Yeah, it's been 30 years. And they limp into this postseason after a 20-point loss in the regular season finale against the Commanders. Dallas had 11 drives without a first down, finished with a total of just 182 offensive yards. Their 2nd fewest in a single game in the last decade. And in that game, Dak Prescott tossed his 3rd pick six this season. It was his 7th straight game with an interception. He finished the season tied for the league lead in picks. And remember, he missed 5 games, too. Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy just spoke to the media talking about their approach after that loss to the Commanders. It's new on SportsCenter.
I mean, the approach has to always be the same, and frankly, that's a message for everybody this week. We all understand what's in front of us, but we're not looking for new personalities, new behaviors, a bunch of new ideas. We love who we are, no different with individual performances, whether they've gone the right way or not, because the reality of the game of football, no different in life, you're much better prepared through your failures than you are through your successes, because the toughest challenge I've always felt is handling success. So I just look at it as, chalk it up as experience that we can move forward with. But yeah, there wasn't a top secret meeting or 2 more hours of videotape and correction. We feel like we do a very thorough and consistent job of that week in and week out. So that's been our approach.
All right, Mike McCarthy saying really, it sounds good, all the right things. Now they got to get out in the field and actually do it. I want to dive in specifically on Dak Prescott, but before we do that, I'm not sure if everybody at home saw, but you're a writer now for us on ESPN.com.
I don't even know what an adverb is, so.
Dan Orlovsky's top 14 QBs this postseason.
Yeah.
1 to 14, you see Skylar Thompson,
and the Bucs were live at practice for both teams today, and we're waiting to hear from both head coaches.
Yeah, in fact, Mike McCarthy is about to address the media right now. We're going to have that for you in moments. And the Bucs are out on the practice field as we come on the air right now. A live report from Tampa coming up, and some breaking news involving quarterback Derek Carr. SportsCenter is live. Let's go.
This is SportsCenter.
All eyes on Dak Prescott as the Cowboys prepare for the playoffs. While Dan Orlovsky says he's not even in the top 10 playoff quarterbacks. Jalen Hurts will speak after practice with the Eagles on a bye, awaiting their opponent next week. Hurts updating us on his health. And Lamar Jackson missing practice again. What Stephen A. says the Ravens should do with their quarterback after the season in 20 minutes.
He doesn't seem to want to be there 1 minute. They don't seem to want him bad enough the next.
He got him again! Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness.
We begin with this breaking news from the NFL. Raiders quarterback Derek Carr, who posted a farewell message to the team on his social media just this morning, signaling the apparent end to a 9-year run with the team. Carr, who was benched for the team's final 2 regular season games and stepped away from the team to not be a distraction. Those were his words. Drafted by the Raiders in the 2nd round of the 2014 NFL Draft, and it appears that his run with the Raiders is over. Here is part of the statement that he posted. Raider Nation, it breaks my heart. I didn't get an opportunity to say goodbye in person. I once said that if I'm not a Raider, I would rather be at home, and I meant that. But I never envisioned it ending this way. I look forward to a new city and a new team who, no matter the circumstance, will get everything I have. Winning a championship is what I've always wanted and what I will continue to work towards, end quote. Again, that's just a partial statement from Derek Carr posted on his social media. Let's take a look at some of Carr's numbers in his career, his 9-year career with the Raiders. He's thrown for 217 passing touchdowns during those 9 years. That's the most by any quarterback in franchise history, nearly 70 more than the next closest player. He's also the franchise leader in passing yards with just over 35,000, and he's one of 4 quarterbacks with at least 35,000 yards passing since being drafted in 2014. Also, Carr orchestrated 33 game-winning drives. That is the most by any quarterback during